Thanksgiving's about tradition and good food coming together as one. You at home can learn new ways to celebrate Thanksgiving by watching my channel, Chris Hutchinson, and only by clicking the subscribe button. For the month of November, I'll be showing you new fantastic recipes. Get ready to dive into some recipes we'll find in some cookbooks, some of my own personal recipes, and some recipes that I enjoy having during the holidays. And it all starts right here. I'm your host, Chris Hutchinson. Oh, hello there. Welcome back to my channel. I am Chris Hutchinson, and today we have a very special episode today. I'm inviting you to my Thanksgiving table. Not only will I be sharing you all my favorite traditional recipes that I enjoy and my family enjoys having every year on Thanksgiving, but also to find new recipes that you guys can enjoy on Thanksgiving. And also I'll be showing you fantastic dishes. I'll be showing you a moist Tuscan turkey. Follow up from the Food Network, Barefoot Contessa's her stuffing with cranberries. And then from a family recipe of frozen fruit cocktail salad, and I put it in a very cool house mold. Follow up with my yams and sweet potatoes. Then we're going to do green beans, slivered onions, and blue cheese with gravy and my famous smashed potatoes. I hope you're ready for a treat, because this is a very, very extra episode of Thanksgiving with Chris Hutchinson. Here we go. You will need fruit cocktail, cream cheese, mayonnaise, sugar, marshmallows, lemon juice, chilled evaporated milk. First, we're going to start with our fruit cocktail salad. You're going to take your cream cheese and we're going to make it nice and creamy and smooth. So we're just going to put that into a bowl. Take your blender and blend. Next, we're going to add our sugar and our mayonnaise. And we're going to blend all that together. Next, I'm going to add my fruit cocktail. Marshmallows and walnuts. This is optional, but I'm going to still add it. We're going to take our spoon and we're going to fold it in. Get it nice and folded. This used to be one of my favorite dishes during Thanksgiving growing up. I always look forward to this one the most. I'm going to put this to the back counter. To a separate bowl, I'm going to add my frozen evaporated milk. And my lemon juice. We're going to just blend it so it makes a nice soft tea. Now I'm just going to add my evaporated milk to my other mixture. Give it a nice fold. So we want that all mixed in there. You want to usually put it in a Pyrex dish or a glass dish, and we're going to put it in the freezer. I choose to do this cool gingerbread house mold, and I think it will hold its form and it'll come up. This is a very Victorian way of doing frozen dishes. They always put them in a mold. So I figured, why not bring back that tradition? So I'm just going to put it in there. I covered my container, and now I'm going to put it in the freezer. Now we're going to start with our turkey. Now our turkey is going to take the longest to make. So to start off, you'll need these ingredients.
3 garlic heads, butter, sage, lemon rind, salt, crushed red pepper flakes, turkey, yellow onions, water, olive oil, dry white wine, Dijon mustard.
So we're going to first cut the heads off of our garlic. And then we're going to wrap 3 garlics after you take the heads off into some foil. We're going to roast them. So we're just going to cut the heads off. You can keep the heads, put them in your compost. So we got 1. And these scraps into your compost bin. And 3. Now we're going to wrap each one in some foil. Just like so. Just like that. And I'm just going to put it in my little copper pan. After you get them all wrapped up, you're going to put them in a preheated oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour and a half minutes. While my garlic is roasted in the oven, I'm going to mix a few ingredients together. In a bowl, I'm going to add some butter, 6 tablespoons, 1/4 cup of chopped fresh sage, 2 teaspoons of crushed red pepper flakes, and then we're just going to mix that all together with our 6 tablespoons. Because this is going to all go on the turkey, in between the skins and everything. And if you have an oven like mine, the heat comes up from the stove. So I'm just going to place my bowl on the stove. That way I can incorporate and kind of melt the butter a little bit at the same time, just to give it that good flavor. then when that garlic comes out, we're gonna put it in our butter. It's gonna be so delicious. We're gonna continue letting our garlic roast. Meanwhile, we need to loosen up the skin on our turkey. So let's go get our turkey real quick. Look at this baby! He's a big boy. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start at the neck. We're just gonna loosen up the skin. We do not want to tear it, but we want to be able to put our nice good mixture in between the skin. So I'm just gonna start fingering it. Keep your minds out of the gutters, people. Just want to stick it in there. You also want to loosen up the drumsticks too. Because we're going to put a delicious sage butter all underneath the skin. It's going to be so delicious. Like I said, you don't want to tear the skin. You just want to get it nice and loose so you can put all your seasonings, your butter, your sage in between the skin and the meat. That way the meat has a good flavor to it. Okay, so I loosened up the skin on the turkey. I'm gonna put it back on my back counter. Since I got a bigger bird, I'm gonna add a little more butter to my mixture. Because you can never have too much butter. Butter makes everything better. I don't care what you say. A meteor can come to Earth. I'm gonna stock up on butter. You kind of want your mixture to look like that almost. It's just right now butter, sage, and red pepper flakes. And then we're gonna add that roasted garlic to it. It's gonna be so yummy. So right now, I'm just going to do some pre-prepping. Right now, I got 1/3 cup of white wine, cooking wine, or you can do what I do and get a cheap bottle of Chardonnay or a white cooking wine. It's the same cost, tastes the same thing. Any wine's a good cooking wine. To that, we're going to add 1/4 cup olive oil and 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Mix that together, and this will be part of our base for our turkey. You could do this in a bowl or a measuring cup. Doesn't matter, you just need to whisk all the ingredients together. And if you want to save on dishes, just do it in your measuring cup. I'm going to cover this and put this to the side. I'm going to add a teaspoon of lemon rind to my butter dish. And you can just eyeball it. Everyone should know what a teaspoon looks like. And you could use as much as you want. If you want to use a little extra on certain ingredients, go ahead. This is going to be your recipe that I'm sharing with you. So that looks good. And I'm just going to give that a good mix. Right in that butter mixture. We're going to put that to the side again. Now we're going to stuff our turkey. You're going to take a whole yellow onion and quarter it. You don't need to peel it. You don't need to chop it. It's going straight in the cavity. We're not going to be eating this. So you just need to quarter it. That way it's getting that flavor. And it just goes inside the cavity like that. Make sure you're stuffing it all the way in the back. Like so. We're going to take our leaven and have it and put it in there like the same. And it's so hard to find a good turkey recipe, and this is one of the best turkey recipes I have ever had in my lifetime. It gets nice and moist. The wine and the Dijon mustard makes it really rich and yummy. Just in there, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but you can see I stuffed it all in there. Next, take the rest of your sage leaves, and you're also going to put them into where the rest of your stuffing is. The more flavor you give the turkey, the better. So that sage is nice and neat and stuffed in there. I'm just going to salt and pepper the outside of my turkey. It does not say this in the recipe, but I'm just doing this for extra flavor. And then we're just going to take some French salt and do the same. Kind of just rub it nice and neat in there. You don't want to go too heavily on the pepper because you already have red pepper flakes going underneath the turkey. Then I'm just going to add a little salt inside the turkey as well. I'm going to put my lid on my turkey, put it to the back of the counter, and we're still waiting for our roasted garlic to come out. Then we're going to add it to our butter. And then we're going to put the butter all underneath the turkey and spread it all over. And then it's going into the oven. Pulled out my garlic out of the oven. It's cooling right down. It looks so beautiful and so delicious. I raised the temperature for my oven to 450 degrees. That way we can put the turkey in there. Now I'm going to mix that roasted garlic with my butter dish. Get all those flavors nice and combined. And it also loosens up the butter too if you add it a little hot, like I just did. Now we're going to go grab our turkey. Now we're going to rub this butter mixture all over the turkey. Just like that. This is a messy dish, so don't be scared to get your hands dirty. And we wanted to coat every single piece of the turkey. Now usually they have a little plastic thing where you can put your legs in, so you no longer have to really trust your turkey. So make sure you close your turkey legs. Then we're going to tuck the wings underneath the turkey. I added the neck of the turkey to the bottom of my pan. So he's literally sitting on top of his neck. And then we're going to add 1/2 cup water to the bottom of the pan. Now it doesn't call for this, but I like a little extra. I'm going to add a little white wine to the bottom of my pan too. Save some for later. You might have to replenish. Covered my bird. We're going to place it into a 450 degree oven for 40 minutes. Then we're going to pull it out, baste it, turn the heat down a little bit, and then let it keep cooking.
You'll need bread cubes / stuffing, unsalted butter, yellow onions, celery, green apples, black pepper, parsley, maple and spicy sausage, chicken broth, dried cranberries, salt.
So we're going to turn down our oven to 350 degrees. Do not pull out your turkey right now. It's going to sit in your oven for another hour and 15 minutes. Meanwhile, we're going to start the best stuffing in the whole wide world. This recipe is from Barefoot Contessa. It's her stuffing with apples and cranberries and sweet and spicy sausage. Is going to be yummy. To start with this recipe, you're going to heat up your saucepan and you're going to start melting 8 tablespoons of butter. We just went on a medium heat. So I moved to Eugene, Oregon back in 2016, and I got this apartment in 2017. And one of my first Thanksgivings in this apartment was just me and my mother, and we were on the hunt for the most perfect recipes for turkey stuffing, side dishes, and we found them. This was one of them, and this one was from Barefoot Contessa, and I love her work. She is a great chef. You can learn so much. She's out in the Hamptons in New York, and she's like a French home cook almost. And so I love her recipes, and this happens to be one of my favorites. So we're gonna melt our 8 tablespoons of butter over medium-high heat in a good skillet. To my skillet, I pre-chopped 2 yellow onions, 2 green Granny Smith apples, and 2 celery stalks. And that's gonna go right into our pan and saute. We want this to saute about 10 minutes till our vegetables and fruit get nice and golden brown. Believe me, you want to add the apples because it's just such a great combination. And I get requests every year since making this recipe to make this stuffing. So this is a good recipe to have in your book. To my pan, I'm going to add some pepper. And some salt. Give that a good mix. While that's cooked, let's get our sausage prepared. So basically, I got 2 logs, 1 maple and 1 spicy hot. I'm just gonna open them up, put them in my bowl to the side while those cook, and then we can add this to our stuffing mix right here, and then we can put the sausage in the same pan. It's so funny. So I moved out here in 2016 towards the end of the year, right as Donald Trump got elected. But 2 months before that, my sister, who was living here for almost maybe 10 years, moved to Hawaii. So right as she left, I moved here. But my mom was still here, which was pretty nice. And so after 2017's Thanksgiving, when we found all these great recipes, my sister ended up moving back here with her boyfriend and my niece. And they found this beautiful house and they remodeled it. But since moving back, we've been, I would say, trying to figure out who's going to cook what for Thanksgiving. And I am cooking this recipe, the stuffing, for our Thanksgiving this year, because it got voted the best stuffing last year. Also taking this year to Thanksgiving the fruit salad that I made earlier in this video, and I'm going to be taking some shrimp cocktail because you have to have shrimp on every holiday. So we're going to keep letting that get nice and golden brown. We got our sausage all ready to go into the pan, so we're just going to put that to the side. On Barefoot Contessa's recipe, which I'll link the website down below in the description, You can either make your homemade croutons or your bread, or I find if you have a safe way, you can get pre-sourdough croutons or cut up dry bread. It's just basically sourdough bread cut up into cube strips, which is already made for stuffing. I find this bread, a good sourdough bread or a good homemade rich bread, will make your stuffing recipe really good. So I bought 2 bags. This is about 2 bags of stuffing right here because I want tons of it. So I'm just going to put this to the side. Once this gets done browning, we're going to add this to our stuffing. So I'm going to add my vegetables and my fruit to my bread. Put that back on there. We're going to put that to the side. Add our sausage. And we want to break up our sausage. To my stuffing, I'm going to add a cup of cranberries. I'm going to add to my stuffing some parsley. Recipe calls for 1 cup of chicken stock, but I have an extra cup just in case. Give your meat a good mix. Now I'm going to start tossing this slowly. And the reason why I added the stock early, so it can start absorbing into the bread. And then I can also mix it too. Add my cooked sausage to my stuffing. Good mix. To a Pyrex dish, I'm going to add my stuffing mixture into it. So I got my Pyrex dishes. I'm going to top them off with a little parsley, a little garnish. And I'm just going to cover these and put these to the side. And then we'll put them in the oven after the turkey comes out. I'm going to pull out my turkey and we're going to baste it. Then we're going to rotate it and put it back in the oven until it reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, look how beautiful it looks. And guess what? The thermometer already popped up. So that means the turkey is already done. I'm still gonna baste it though. Since the turkey came out of the oven a little earlier, I'm going to put my 2 Pyrex dishes of stuffing in a 350 degree oven for 30 minutes. until it gets nice and golden brown. Next, we're going to start with my famous mashed potatoes. I don't really have a recipe for my smashed potatoes. We're just kind of go with the flow with my smashed potatoes and sweet potatoes. And then I have a great recipe for green beans, slivered onions, and blue cheese. So here we go. We're going to first start peeling our potatoes. Fill in a pot of water and bring that to a boil. That way we can start cooking our potatoes. Put that on high so that can start cooking. Next, I'm going to start peeling my potatoes. And I'm just saving my skins. My skins are going right into my compost bin. And these are common side dishes for a Thanksgiving meal. Sweet potatoes, smashed potatoes, green beans. Each person has a certain way of cooking each dish. But it's all about the comfort. Having that comfort food. So I'm gonna cut each potato into fourths and put it into the water. That's the way it gets start cooking. We're gonna wait till that comes to a boil. Now we're gonna start working on our sweet potatoes. Take a mandolin and you're just gonna make thin strips of your potato. And then we're gonna put them in the baking dish. And we're gonna line them up every other way. It's gonna be so good. See, it comes out as this little thin. It's gonna be so yummy. Now that we got our yams and sweet potatoes sliced up, I'm just gonna alternate them in the Pyrex dish. And make sure you get like sizes. That way they can stay up. Once we got the sweet potatoes into our pan, we're just going to sprinkle it with some brown sugar right over the top. We're going to add a little butter to it. And I'm just going to cut some pieces, room temperature pieces of butter, just over it. I add some marshmallows. Into the oven to 350 degrees for about 15-20 minutes. Now we're going to drain our potatoes. I'm just going to add some butter to the bottom of the pan so that can start melting. Block of cream cheese to my pan so that can get nice and softened. Right into the pan. Then we're going to add our potatoes. Grab your smasher start smashing. I'm going to add some milk to this. Not a lot, just a little to make it nice and creamy. Make sure that all your potatoes are smashed. Looks good. We're going to add garlic powder to taste. Paprika to taste. Salt to taste. Pepper to taste. Half a bag of Mexican cheese. We're just gonna mix that and fold it all in together. If you want to be really fancy, you can add a little cooking wine to it, which I am. A little wine. Give that a good mix in there. A taste. I think these potatoes are pretty good. Baking dish. I'm just going to spoon in my smashed potatoes. Now I'm going to add the rest of my bag of Mexican cheese as the topper. And then we're going to put it in the oven so the cheese gets nice and golden brown. Those are my famous smashed potatoes. Into the oven it goes.
You'll need garlic, olive oil, black pepper, green beans, butter, sliced almonds, cayenne pepper, blue cheese.
So I pulled everything out of the oven and I cover it to make sure it stays nice and warm. This is going to be so exciting. I can't wait to dive into everything. Now we're going to start on our last dish this evening, which is green beans with blue cheese and almonds. First, we're going to start by preheating our oven to 375 degrees. Same baking dish last time. This time I'm going to line this with aluminum foil. I'm going to put that to the side. Grab my cutting board. And like with our turkey, we're going to take 3 garlic clove heads and cut the heads off because we're going to roast these garlics again. And put this in your compost. Grab one. Add a little olive oil on top. And then we're going to season it with salt and pepper. Then we're gonna fold this up, making a nice tight seal, just like that. And we're gonna bake this about for 1 hour. While that bakes, I'm gonna start prepping my green beans. I'm just gonna cut the ends off of my green beans. And then I'm gonna cut them in half. That way, they'll be ready to saute. This is one of my mother's favorite dishes. Now that I got my pound of green beans, the ends trimmed and cut in half, I'm gonna just rinse them off real quick. And we're just gonna put that to the side. I pulled my fruit frozen cocktail salad out of the oven. We're gonna put it in some hot water. That way we can get it out of the mold. But we don't want to keep it in there too long. It's gonna be about in the water about 5 to 10 minutes. It came out. Gonna take our knife and just kind of smooth it all out. For the most part, I think this turned out so gorgeous. So I'm going to increase my oven to 450 degrees. To my pot, I'm going to bring to a boil. Now that our water has came to a boil, we're going to add our green beans to it. We're going to let these cook for about 4 to 6 minutes till they're nice and tender. Drain this and put this in cold water. To my skillet, I'm going to add a teaspoon of butter. We're going to add our sliver almonds. And basically we're just toasting our almonds like so. While that toasts, we're going to get our garlic out. We're just going to press the garlic. Now I'm going to toss in my green beans. Now we're going to add our seasoning. Cayenne pepper to taste. Salt to taste. Pepper to taste. Give that one good mix or toss. And next, we're going to add our blue cheese in. We're going to put it in the oven for 15 minutes. Just like in my last video, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. Then I'm going to add some more white wine. We're just going to mix that in all together. The gravy is so delicious. It's so rich. That wine helped it so much. I also wanted to share with you guys on this episode is how to carve a turkey. A lot of people have weird techniques on how to carve a turkey, but one of the most easiest way to do it is this way that I learned from a chef off of the Food Network. So basically we're just going to be doing this in chunks. We pull off the legs, the wings, and then we cut up the breast. So just pull the wing off, put it on your platter. Do it with the other one like that, and then plate them up on your platter however you want. Same with the drumsticks, just pull it off just like that. We just want a big piece. Same with the other one, just pull it off. You can cut off whatever pieces you want, and then you just cut off the breast. Just the whole breast. Try to cut it off in one big piece, then you can slice it up. Look at that. You got that beautiful piece of meat right there. Any scraps, put it on your plate. Same thing with the other breast. This is the fastest way to carve a turkey. No need to do pre-slices, individual. You can cut everything up once it's cut off the meat. Plus, it's way more presentable if it's all together. So we're just going to cut off the last breast right there, like so. Look at that. Any extra meat that you have on here, just trim it off, put it on your platter. Don't forget the underside. The underside has meat too. See all that? Make sure you get the other legs and stuff. Just cut it off. Like I said, you just want it in pieces. Just cut it off. Don't be shy with the bird. Cut off that dark meat. And that's how you successfully carve a turkey. I really hope you guys enjoyed this special video. I just want to say I am thankful for every subscriber and view that I get on my channel. Like I said, I'm trying to make this my dream job to where I can film 24/7 for you guys and make stuff and make an empire for you guys. And I hope you guys are having a very safe, COVID-free Thanksgiving this year. Spend them with as your loved ones and be safe depending on where you are in the country or world. And just note that I'm sending my love to each and every one of you to be safe this year. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to my YouTube channel. It's free. I'm back every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Northwest time. I'm Chris Hutchinson. Mwah. Love you guys.